Good morning, students. Today we are going to start the second chapter of your human physiology, breathing and exchange of gases. As you know that there are the certain changes held in this session, that is 2021, in which first chapter of this unit, that is digestion and absorption in human body, that is removed completely. So this is the second chapter of this unit, breathing and exchange of gases. Earlier in 10th class we have studied about the human respiratory system. We are having little bit enlarged portion of the same chapter in this. First of all, we are going to read whatever the statement is there. All biological activities require energy. You know very well that whatever the functions usually we perform, we require the energy that is released by the breakdown of food. So all organisms consume high energy organic molecules in the form of food. Food is a fuel, is a kind of fuel for the living organism through which an organism get energy by the oxidation process. The breakdown of food by the use of oxygen is called oxidation. Cells utilize oxygen for catabolism. Catabolism, that means breakdown of the food by the help of oxygen, and produce energy along with oxygen. The process of exchange between oxygen from the atmosphere and the CO2 produced by the cells is called breathing. You know very well that inhalation and exhalation, there are two types of processes which are completely held in the breathing. Inhalation, in which we intake the oxygen, whereas in exhalation we release the carbon dioxide into the atmosphere. It is a normal process of breathing. The method by which oxidation of food material occur in the living cells of an organism is called respiration. And the term respiration was coined by Dutrochack. He was the first scientist who provided this term, respiration. And you know that very well that the ATP is produced. ATP is a form of chemical energy molecule which is stored inside the mitochondria. Energy is also produced inside the mitochondria and stored also in that cell organelle. So the formation and storage house is generally known as mitochondria. That's why it is also known as powerhouse of the cell. During oxidation, stored chemical energy in food is released and is temporarily stored in ATP. The first step in respiration is breathing. The food substance which is involved in respiration is called respiratory substance. For example, glucose. It's a very common substance which going to reduce or which going to oxidize in the respiration process. But in the absence of glucose, amino acid and fatty acids can also produce the energy. Now the respiratory organ. There are the different breathing mechanism varies along with their respiratory organs, because different members of groups having different types of organs for respiration. For example, first of all we are taking moist skin and lungs. These are the respiratory organs of amphibians like frog, salamander. These are the member of amphibian and they are having most skin and lungs for the respiration. Entire body surface, sponges, coelenterate, flatworm, they can respire through the entire body surface, whereas earthworm usually respire through skin only. This kind of respiration is known as cutaneous respiration. In insect tracheal system, it is a tube channel. It is a tube-like system which is present inside the insect, like honeybees, mosquito, flies, cockroach. All are having tracheal system for the respiration, and these all are the insect. Gills. These are the very essential, most important organs for the respiration of aquatic plants or animals. Animals, for example, fishes, they usually respire through the gills only. Aquatic arthropods and mollusks, they also respire through gills. Some mammals, even mammals having well developed respiratory organ in the form of lungs. For example, human being, we are having two lungs in our body, in our thoracic cavity for the respiration. Now we are going to start the most important topic of this chapter, that is human respiratory system. What are the main parts of this system? First of all, Starting, we are going to start from the nostril. These are the opening pore of our body, which are located at the ventral surface of the body at the anterior part. After that, these nostrils opens into the nasal cavity. Nasal cavity leads to the larynx, trachea, bronchi, and further bronchioles. Respiratory system start with a pair of external nostrils which leads to a nasal chamber through the nasal passage. The nasal cavities are lined by mucous membrane which secrete mucus. You know very well that that is completely respiratory system insidely protected by the mucus wall. This is essential for the germs protection, dust protection, as well as for the normaling of the temperature of atmosphere inside the body. It keeps the nasal cavity moist and traps dust and other foreign particles in the inhaled air. Hair are also there in our nasal cavity which filters out the dust from the air. The nasal cavity opens into the posterior part of the pharynx. Okay, now what is another point? Pharynx is a common passage. You can see over this diagram that is pharynx are located between the neck portion, and it is a junction of nasal cavity and oral cavity. It is a common path for the both of passages. The part of pharynx behind the buccal cavity for the passage of food is called oropharynx, which is directly lead to the oral cavity, and the part of air passage is called nasopharynx, which directly lead to the nasal cavity. The part of the pharynx behind the larynx is called laryngopharynx. On the floor of nasopharynx, there is a silt or slit-like opening called glottis is present, which is guarded by the cartilaginous flap-like structure that is called epiglottis. This epiglottis prevents the entry of food into the trachea while swallowing. Glottis leads to the thin-walled tube-like called trachea or windpipe, which runs through the neck in front of esophagus. Because there are only two pipe-like structures are present in our neck portion. One is esophagus, another one is trachea. Esophagus generally known as food pipe, whereas trachea known as windpipe. The upper part of the trachea is enlarged to form the larynx or sound box. Generally, it is termed as sound box because that is only organ which can produce a sound in the human being. The wall of the larynx is supported by rings of cartilage such as thyroid cartilage and cricoid cartilage. The thyroid cartilage is the largest and projects externally at the neck region and called Adam's apple. We are having outer growth or outward bone in our neck portion, especially in the male body, that is called Adam's apple. The two folds of mucous membrane stretching across the lumen of the larynx. These are called vocal cords. These are the two stretching membranes actually which produce the sound, which produce the uh, vowels by the vibration. Next, we are going to read the diagram of this. You can see each and every part which is located in our nasal cavity, hard palate, soft palate, oropharynx, tongue, glottis, larynx, voice box, trachea, esophagus, all are located inside that. It's a very clear and visible diagram for our upper physical respiratory part. Now, the trachea is protected by the C-shaped cartilaginous rings. You can see in this diagram that is a ring-like structures are present in entire trachea or the windpipe. The single is termed as trachea. This portion is called trachea. There is a single long, large tube-like structure. Further is divided into the two separate branches. These are called bronchioles, and these each bronchiole again scattered into the various tube-like structure that is called bronchioles. So the first is trachea, second is bronchi, and third is bronchiole. So all these structure combinedly form the respiratory path. There are the two bones which are located. These are the cartilaginous bone which are located above the windpipe, that is cricoid cartilage and thyroid cartilage. So the trachea is protected by the C-shaped cartilaginous ring which prevent the collapsing of the walls of the trachea when there is less or no air. Trachea divides into bronchi and each bronchus enters into each lung. The bronchi divide to form the bronchiole. Each bronchiole is further divided into a number of small ducts called alveolar duct. Each alveolar duct swell up into a thin-walled air sac called alveolus. These are the very thin membranous structures which are present in our lungs for the respiration. These are the very important organ for the respiration. These are the basic and functional unit of lungs. The group of these alveoli is called infundibulum. It's look like a bunch of grape. The bronchi, bronchiole, alveolus comprise the lungs because these all are combinedly form and associate the lungs. There are two lungs covered by double layered pleura. You know very well that the pleural membrane is a covering of lungs. These are the double membrane and in which a fluid is present that is called pleural fluid, which helps to prevent the lungs for the friction from the friction. So this is the very common thing which I have explained in this. So the outer pleural membrane and inner pleural membrane, there are the two membranes usually cover the lungs. Now conducting part is a part where the exchange of gases takes place. The function of the conducting parts in the transport of the atmospheric air to the alveoli, it also prevents the entry of foreign particles, humidifies and brings the air to body temperature. Exchange part, the site of diffusion of O2 and CO2 between blood and atmosphere. Lungs are located in the thoracic chamber, which is limited dorsally by the vertebral column, ventrally by the sternum, because you know very well that the bone or the chest bone is present, usually known as sternum, above our backbone, laterally by the ribs, and you know very well that is the 12 pair ribs are present which protect our heart as well as lungs also. And on the lower side by the dome shaped diaphragm is also located, that is combinedly form a huge chamber which helps in the respiration. It is a storehouse of gases. It's a temporary storehouse of gases. Any change in the volume of the thoracic cavity will be reflected in the lung cavity, which is essential for breathing. The steps involved in respiration are: first is breathing or the pulmonary ventilation, in which we intake the oxygen and release the CO2 in atmosphere again. Diffusion of gases, transport of gases by the blood, diffusion of O2 and CO2 in the blood and tissues. Oxygen is utilized by the cell for catabolic reaction, or we can say that there is only oxygen utilized by the cell for the breakdown of food inside the cells for the production of energy. This kind of processes usually we can say cellular respiration. So this is the very common diagram of human respiratory system. You can see over there that is a small alveoli. Group of these alveoli is called infundibulum and it look like a bunch of grapes. So this is the very common diagram of human respiratory system. It opens through the nose and completed to the lungs, and diaphragm is a muscular sheet which separates our thoracic cavity and abdominal cavity. So for this class, I think it's enough. Have a nice day to all my dear students to stay with us, and I hope see you soon in the next class with a new topic. Have a nice day to all my dear students. अब देखो मैं आपको इसको दिखाता भी हूँ, थोड़ा सा मैं आपको शो कर देता हूँ इसके अंदर, क्योंकि अपन जो है